Hello Stampin' friends, just a quick video here to kind of show you what I do when I'm having to do a lot of cards in one thing and a lot of stamping and punching or stamping and die cutting, and I don't want to have to sit and arrange it every single time. Let's say I stamp this Hark the Heralds and then I have to line up the punch and everything else. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this before, but I wanted to just remind you of how this works. As you can see here, I've already punched out, I stamped on my piece of extra paper right here and punched out my saying. And in order to make this work is I usually just take, and sometimes I have just a stamp set underneath there just to kind of help with that. And I am going to go ahead and put my already stamped, what was this, a 2 3/8 inch circle right in here. I've got it set up like this. I'm going to take my ink pad and just stamp this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it like this. Got my little Chucky here. My sister-in-law made this for me. It's a nice little thing to get a good impression. And there I have my Hark the Herald Angels. So I can go through and do a whole bunch of these real fast without having to worry about lining it up every time or whatever. And in case I wouldn't get a good image, let me just take and punch another one real quick here. In case for some reason I wouldn't get a real good image, let's just try and not get a good image. I'll just kind of do part of it here. Got my circle in there. Gonna go ahead and do this. And you can see I didn't get a good image. So I'm going to go ahead and re-ink it. Since I've never moved anything, I don't have to worry. I'm gonna do this now again. And there's my good image again. So it comes in really handy. Okay. All right. Now I want to show you a different way to do it. I'm going to put this to the side. Since I have a Stamparatus, I can remove this section here and put it off to the side. And I'm going to do a different one. The other video I did, I used this detailed, desert details. And I'm going to end up doing quite a few of these. So I want to cut this image out quite a few times. And I don't want to have to stamp it with this, with my clear block, stamp it, then line up my die every time and run it through the Big Shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one of those templates. So the easiest way to do it is get a piece of scratch paper, which I've got right here. I usually like to put it in the corner of my Stamparatus. I am going to take this stamp set, and it doesn't really matter where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to put it about right here in the middle. That looks good. So I've got it there, like ready to stamp. I'm going to put this down, give it a good push. Okay, I've got everything kind of set. I am going to use instead, I am going to be using my Smoky Slate because that's the color that I want on everything. So I'm going to give it a good inking. I'm going to go ahead and put it down. And now I've got my image on this piece of paper. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to set this stuff to the side a little bit here. And I'm going to take my Big Shot. Let me move this over. Put this up. I'm going to take my Big Shot and I'm going to cut this image out. You know, as you can see with something like this, it's not always easy to get it to be exactly the way you want it. So that's why I especially like to do it for something with this. Let's see, this looks like it's that. Okay, so let me go to my Big Shot. I've got it kind of lined up. Pretty close, as you can see. And I'm going to cut this out real quick. So give me a minute. Let me get my Big Shot going. And I'm going to line up my die as well as I can. Hopefully get it pretty good here. Run it through my Big Shot real quick. Okay, so now I have my image that I cut out. Well, only I had it lined up right. Here was where it was originally, as you can kind of see. And I'm going to put this right back in. Get rid of this. I don't need it anymore. I had this kind of at the corner, so I know that's where it's going to be. So I've punched out a whole bunch of these, or rather I've die cut a whole bunch of these. Didn't matter which way I die cut them, just anything. I'm going to slide it right into my little template here, and we're going to see how this works. Let me find my smoky slate again. Maybe I'm going to bring this just a little bit closer so you can kind of see what I'm working with here. Move this up a little. I'm going to ink up my image, flip it over, and we're going to see how I did. Oops, didn't get very good on that one. So I'm going to figure out where I didn't get some good ink. I'll put it right back down. See how I did this time. Oh, much better. And there I have it. So now I'm going to be able to do about 10 or 15 of these, since I got about that many cards to do, and be able to do them real quickly without having to stamp on a piece of paper, try and line up my die like I did for the first one. And instead I can just hurry up and cut a whole bunch of these dies. Doesn't matter which way I have it turned or placed or whatever. And then I can just start stamping. So I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time, putting my die that I've already cut, ink back up my stamp. I think I need to re-ink my stamp pad here a little bit. Flip that over. And remember, the trick is you never move this stamp. You keep it at the same spot. And now it'd be nice if I could pick it up. So let me get this on here. Kind of pick this thing up. There we go. And there we have it. I'll be able to make several of them. Very simple, easy peasy. Put your die in, or put your die cut in. And remember, you just never move this. It stays right there, and you're going to be in good shape. And I'm going to need to re-ink my ink pad, obviously. And then this, my sister-in-law made for me from Village Candles. It was the lid. And then she put some of those things to not scrape on your hardwood floor, and did that for me. And now I have a nice thing that puts a lot of pressure on it, real easy to do. And there we have it. So anyways, just another reminder of a really easy way to do this if you're going to be doing a lot of the same type of card, which is something that I usually do. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate you taking the time, and let's keep stamping and scrapping, and I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.